All right, guys. With all these sexual harassment charges, what does it mean when the person says, "Did they physically attack you?" No. Did they hurt you? No. Did they rape you? No. Well, then how could it be sexual harassment? Because they're in a position of power. They were in a position of power over me, so I had to do whatever they said, or else I wouldn't get the job. Is that what it means, position of power? Because is it a physical power? Because then it's rape. And if you didn't call the cops right then you're just fucking stupid. Okay? But if it was a position of political power or employment power, and you wanted that part so bad or that job so bad, so you went along with it, but now you don't have that job, and 30 years later you're not relevant anymore, so now you're complaining, and what they had over you was a position of power. That's called a fucking boss. All right? So the position of power says you're a fucking weak shit. I mean, I've had so many jobs where I couldn't stand my boss. So I'd go in there and they'd say, "Well, I don't like the way you're talking to the patients, and you got to do this, this, and this." And so they're in a position of power over me, and I had to do what they said. I didn't like it, but I wanted to keep my job. So I'm not going to fucking complain about it later. So if someone comes on to you and says, "Yay, whoo, let's have some sex," and you do it because you want the job, then you're a weak piece of shit. What are you complaining about later? Right? And if you didn't have sex with them and you still had the job, then what are you complaining about? What did they make you do? You really complaining about somebody looking at you wrong? Is that what the position of power? It enabled them to give you looks and look you up and down, and then you felt something inside? Well, if you did, why didn't you say something about it then? I've had bosses that said stuff I didn't like, and I've said, "I'm not going to do it." And if it's a deal breaker, I wouldn't keep the job. If it wasn't, then I kept the job, and my boss knew where I stood on it. Why the fuck weren't you strong enough to just say, "Hey, quit looking at me," or "Hey, no, I'm not going to go out with you"? Then why now you come up with it? So what is this position of power that they held over you? And why are you so weak that you would let someone just for a job do things to you that you didn't want done because you wanted the job? That makes you the piece of shit just as much as them. Just as much as them. So now you're coming back 30 years later because you want to get in the camera and get some money. So you're basically saying, "Well, that was my boss, and they wanted me to do things that I didn't want to do, and they looked at me in a way I didn't like them looking at me, but I wanted that job so bad that I was willing to swallow my pride, right, and lower my fucking bar of tolerance. But now that I don't have that job anymore, and I'm not in the camera, and I want some money, so I'm going to complain about it." That's what position of power meant. Right? It meant you're fucking weak and you'll do whatever it takes to get a certain job or position. But now that you want to jump on a bandwagon, you're going to complain about it. Isn't that what it is? There's no more to it. The power wasn't physical, or then it would have been rape. So the power was you wanted the job. You were willing to let them look at you and gawk you and whatever that you're saying they did, touch you. Why do you say, "Hey, fucking don't touch me. I want this job, but I have some fucking integrity"? I'll tell you why. Because you don't have any integrity. That's why. It's simple as that. So check it out. I want you to comment on this and tell me what you feel. Am I right or am I wrong? And if I'm right, tell me why. If I'm wrong, tell me why. If not, shut the hell up.